The rain came down in sheets that night, making the gas station lights bleed into the darkness. Inside, Arthur was wiping down the counter, a familiar routine on another slow night. He glanced at the monitor, just an old pickup truck at the pump. That was Robert Hemlock, a regular. The door chimed, and in walked Detective Washington, her coat slick with rain. "Slow night?" she asked. Arthur just chuckled. Every night was slow in this town after midnight. As Washington paid for her coffee, a muffled sound of a struggle cut through the steady drumming of the rain. It was followed by a sickening thud. They both froze, a silent alarm passing between them, and rushed outside. It was a scene straight out of Arthur's worst nightmares. Old Man Hemlock was lying motionless on the wet pavement, a dark stain spreading across his chest. "Oh, Robert," Arthur whispered, his face ashen. While Arthur called it in, Detective Washington's sharp eyes scanned the scene. Something shimmered near Hemlock's hand. She knelt down. It was a small, ornate silver locket, and it was empty. She bagged it, her gaze sweeping the darkness that surrounded the lonely gas station. This was just the beginning. Hours later, the gas station was a chaos of flashing lights. Washington sat with Arthur inside the now crowded convenience store. "Did he have any enemies, Arthur?" she pressed. "Robert? No," Arthur insisted. "A bit of a loner, but harmless. Everyone liked him." Washington studied the locket in the evidence bag. Had Arthur ever seen it before? He hadn't. It was a mystery. Just then, the door chimed again. A young woman, Chloe, entered, looking startled by all the police. She said she was just passing through, needed gas. When Washington asked if she knew Robert Hemlock, Chloe seemed genuinely confused. "Hemlock? No, I don't think so." But as Chloe spoke, Washington's eyes narrowed. There was a faint, almost invisible silver glint on her worn jeans, a tiny detail. But in a murder investigation, tiny details are everything. The next day, the rain had stopped, but a heavy air still hung over the gas station. Detective Washington was back, re-examining the crime scene. She noticed a well-dressed, anxious man pacing nearby, talking on his phone. This was Mr. Henderson, one of Hemlock's poker buddies. "A tragedy," he kept saying. Washington approached him. "Did Mr. Hemlock have any valuables on him?" she asked. Henderson hesitated. "Not that I know of. He wasn't a wealthy man." As he spoke, he subtly adjusted his cufflink. It was silver, intricately designed, and strikingly similar to the locket found at the scene. Back at the station, Washington reviewed the grainy security footage. You could see Hemlock, then a struggle with a figure you couldn't make out. But for a split second, something silver flashed in the figure's hand. The next person she interviewed was Mark Davis, a gruff, agitated man who'd had a public argument with Hemlock just last week over a poker debt. "A few hundred," Mark scoffed. "Nothing to kill over." Washington noticed a fresh scratch on his hand. "Working on my car," he mumbled, shifting in his seat. 3 potential suspects. Chloe, the passerby with silver dust on her jeans. Henderson, the poker buddy with matching silver cufflinks. Mark, the angry debtor with a fresh scratch. The pieces were scattered, and Washington needed something to tie them together. She decided to pay another visit to Arthur at the gas station. He was the one who knew Hemlock best. "Arthur," she began, "did he ever talk about any hidden treasures? Anything valuable?" Arthur paused, his eyes darting around as if sharing a secret. "He did mention something once," he said, his voice low. "A family heirloom, a silver locket with a unique design. Said it held the key to finding something important." Washington's eyes widened. She pulled out the locket from the evidence bag like this. Arthur's jaw dropped. "That's it? It's the one?" Now it was all clicking into place. The locket wasn't just a random clue. It was the heart of the entire mystery. The silver dust on Chloe's jeans, Henderson's anxious behavior and similar cufflinks, Mark's convenient scratch. It was time to bring it all to a head. She called Chloe back to the station. Chloe sat nervously across from Washington. "Why am I back here?" she asked. Washington placed the silver locket on the table between them. "This was found at the scene. Do you recognize it?" Chloe's eyes darted to the locket, then quickly away. "No, never seen it." Washington didn't flinch. She played the security footage, zoomed in on the struggle, on that brief flash of silver. "The silver dust on your jeans, Chloe," Washington said calmly. "Our lab confirmed it matches the unique alloy of this locket." That's when Chloe's composure shattered. Tears streamed down her face. "He was my grandfather," she sobbed. Her family had disowned her mother years ago, and they were struggling. She'd heard stories about the locket, how it was the key to a hidden family fortune. "I just wanted to talk to him," she cried, "to get our share." In a flashback, we see it all unfold. Chloe confronting her grandfather, trying to grab the locket. They struggle. He resists. In the chaos, he stumbles, falls, and hits his head on the truck. She panicked. She just ran, dropping the locket as she fled. "I never meant to hurt him," she wept in the interrogation room. "He just fell." The truth was finally out, and it was bitter. Washington looked from the sobbing young woman to the locket on the table. "The locket wasn't about hidden wealth, Chloe," she said softly. "It was a keepsake, a reminder of his family. You never forgot your mother." Mr. Henderson and Mark were just unfortunate coincidences, red herrings in a story of family tragedy. The case was closed, but the heartbreak lingered long after the files were put away. What a tragic end to a family story. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into complex cases. See you next time.